right, hello, hello, hello. Looks like my sound is in the right range. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Sorry I was a few minutes late. Obviously, it's a crazy week. I had one of my assistant coaches call me, touch base this morning, and was unable to get him off quick. We just had to catch up on things really, really fast. So anyway, we're a little bit late, but we're going to dive right in. Obviously, the name of the game this morning that we talked about yesterday was going to be non-farm payroll, and we talked about how I thought the 250 was just absolutely just kind of lowballed. Like, to me, I was like, we talked about it. They had just been so off. I said 475. I was wrong. No, Neuro, we should have no more. Actually, Neuro, I'm not going to say no. There is actually a sound setting for an AM voice and an FM voice. So I could actually change it to that if I wanted to on purpose, but obviously that's not what we're going for. We're trying to get it to where I don't sound like I'm inside of a metal box. But yes, there's an option for that one, as well as a bunch of different kind of fun little options. But anyway, I said 475. It came in at 525. And adjustment last time. The result, absolutely as expected. Dollar strength just through the roof, right? Now, I didn't predict this one. I was like, listen, if it goes to 3.7, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. The Fed would be all over that. I did not predict, and I did not think it would drop to 3.5. So again, even if this was 3.6, the 5.28 would have done exactly what we talked about yesterday. Add that on top of the 3.5, it basically is a sign that everything that the Fed has done thus far not working, because they said that they needed to cool off the labor sector. Well, guess what? People are getting hired back a lot, left and right. Yeah, JOLTS went down just a little bit. Unemployment rate went down even more. So it's like we still have. They're talking about they need to get this to 4.6. They're going in the wrong direction. So again, boom. That's again, you're seeing this strong dollar movement. Strong dollar, strong dollar, strong dollar, strong dollar, strong dollar, strong dollar, and again, a little bit of pound weakness over here. All right, so again, big number. One good thing too is the average hourly earnings were going up as well. And again, thankfully, this is at least following and tracking in the right direction, because as inflation is getting higher, it's great people are getting paid more, because otherwise things are getting much worse. But again, you get paid more, inflation tends to stay around even a little bit longer. But at least it is following pace. It's good that it's catching up over there. So this is to help us kind of afford the cost of everything going higher, right? But yeah, seeing all this go up again, does 0.5 look like if people are getting paid that much more, we're hiring this many people on unemployment rate, does this look like recession yet? Nope, not yet. So yeah, I mean, it's not slowing people down. That's basically what I'm saying. Also got some data this morning, obviously, about BOE. Doesn't believe the inflation target should be altered. Again, they're determined to get inflation back to 2%. Again, 2%. There's reasons why they do that, right? Yeah, this is also one to watch, right? We will cancel dialogues between the U.S. and Chinese military leaders. Again, China to halt climate change talks with the U.S. They're going to cancel military dialogue. They're going to cancel work meetings with the U.S. Defense Ministry. They're going to cancel maritime military mechanism meetings, and they're halting cooperation with us on fighting crime. So remember Pelosi? Remember we mentioned her yesterday that, like, why is she trying to piss off China? Well, this is the response. China is giving you the big, magical finger in the middle. It's basically what it is. And again, they have every right to. This was kind of something that we expect, or that I expected. Hopefully Nancy didn't not expect it. And like I said, Taiwan is not the Ukraine, right? It is not internationally recognized. It is by a couple third world countries. It is not internationally recognized. So we're sticking our nose in people's business. And again, who the biggest contributor or the biggest problem with climate change? China. And they just said, don't care what you say. All right. So again, making friends in all the right places, right? Yeah. Lots of fun and excitement. And again, you want to talk about inflation? Guess what? China could really screw up inflation for us. All right. Supply chain, that's China. There's our supply chain. So yeah, India also did a bank rate raise, but we don't necessarily trade that one. But again, it just shows that they're having issues with inflation as well. So again, a little bit of carryover on the commodity side of things. So anyway, I mean, this is the story right here. I mean, you can see it. We had a zone out there. We had already pushed through, so it wasn't really like another sell thing. And look, 1, 2, 3, we expect 4 to chop through. It burst through. It probably will pull back a little bit. Remember, this is the speculation. Like, oh my God, they're going to raise interest rates. We don't know how much, and it doesn't. They're not going to tell us how much they are. So would expect a little bit of a pullback, but fundamentally, all the data we just got just literally signifies that they're raising and there's really no reason to slow down. Like now the next big one is like, give me the CPI. What is the CPI looking like? If the CPI just even holds firm, even if it goes down just a little bit, what they're saying is, looking at these numbers, they're not having the desired effect that they were hoping to have, which means, and this is shocking that we could do like another 0.75. Like, talk about jacking things up pretty quickly. I did see that the housing market, interest rates actually dropped below, I think they said below 5, right? The market is starting to get crushed, right? What do they got to do with the interest rates? It's got to be like, we got to drop them. They're too high. No one's going to buy a house. And that's what you're already starting to see. So, yeah. So the interest rates are now like, yeah, they're raising interest rates, but we're lowering the housing ones because, oh, God, nobody's buying houses. So there is an article out here on the housing bubble. Is the housing bubble waiting to pop? Probably. I think that's going to be the big sector that's getting crazy. But again, not surprised at the dollar index. And again, we're not necessarily trading this like a supply and demand tool. But again, big pop up, probably got a pullback, but I don't think it's not retracing all the way back down today. And again, it's turning a lot of stuff red in the market. So Aussie dollar. This was we talked about this yesterday, really kind of where this is going to go. We mentioned yesterday, and we were sitting where were we? Yesterday, we were sitting right here, and we were calling this like, we got a base here. If we can go just a little bit farther, the 69.41 would have been a great buy. It ended up hitting it, and it did bounce, right? It did go higher. At 7 o'clock this morning, though, before non-farm, you're not taking this when we're in a downtrend. It literally pulled back up to a level, and again, if you were looking to trade this one news-wise, here you go. There's your stabilization. What did it do 30 minutes beforehand? It drove right back up into that zone. Again, a continuation. We were expecting dollar strength to come in anyway. Look at that. It doesn't come any better, right? Pop up into a level basing, and then boom. And it came all the way down and ended up banking right off the 68.90 set, or 68.90. So, again, this would have been our target. We didn't have this one set ahead of time, but again, when you're inside of a short position, particularly for news, it's target first, and that's where we did. So our target would have been cranked on this one. We blew through everything in here, which we knew, and again, we were looking for these as far as intraday yesterday. Again, easy trade setup today. Probably a little bit of a retracement back again, but again, it is Friday. The news is out now. There'll be some profit taking coming in, but then again, the volume will start to drop in the afternoon as people go on vacation, or out, out the door, vacation, etc. So. Yeah, it's one of these things. I always hate doing the analysis right after a news trade. And yes, there are parabolic retracements, but this is one of those ones that was so telegraphed. It's hard to do much after the fact, right? Now, again, if you're trading this ahead of time, there's a lot of premium, right? There's a lot of premium jacked into it. And again, that's why we talk about some overnight positions and be able to take things lower. But this is this is a big move. Even Aussie dollar. I mean, this is 90 pips almost instantaneously to the downside. All right. So I would say there's probably a bounce due here. Again, this area here, I would watch that for later on. Don't care about this anymore because, again, we sliced to the 78. Looks like there's a 50 stabilized right below it. Here, we'll move this out of the way. But this is where we want our profit. So profit is out now. Pull that. And look at that. You can see how close that really got. I don't need this. That was the 50. And, again, the 50 is not going to hold a move like that. You can see the profit taking coming in strong. Everyone's like, what the heck? Let's run this one on from here. Yeah, I would say there's probably another short in that area. Pull this right here. So if by some chance we're able to rally back up again, I think 69.48 is probably a decent short. It is kind of snuggled in right there with the 50, a little bit of a retracement. But again, it was a basing level. It was an area we pulled back, and then bam, it got hammered down because of the news. So I would say, it's quite a rally back up again. I mean, not that it can't do it today. It's only got 50 more pips to go. Can it rally 50 pips, hit it, and turn in reverse to get us out before the weekend? I don't know. So I would kind of keep this on the radar for next week. But I absolutely think, again, wherever this one ends, I think next week, and again, this could be one of those week-long positions. And again, we know that Australia is starting to slow down. I don't think the U.S. is going to slow down. I think this has the ability to go even lower next week. So again, 69.48 is where I think we go. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised in this if you guys are looking for something smaller during the day. And unfortunately, we can't really, there's nothing to draw it because it's a big racetrack. I would not be surprised if we pull back somewhere inside of this 23.6 level and then we start to roll back down again. And again, what we're seeing right now is the profit taking from this trade. As it pulls back up again, there'll be a second wave of people coming in, because again, you're supposed to buy on pullbacks or sell on pullbacks. There would be your pullback, and look for it to push lower, and then maybe even end up down here at the 68.57. Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, we talked about this. We drew it. In all fairness, okay, I drew this yesterday. Did it give us the really kind of what we were looking for, like the clear defined drop, the basing below without touching, and then the kind of pullback? It did not. Okay. From where I drew it yesterday, I literally drew it almost exactly on. It just popped up quickly and then went down, and it literally went right past the profit target that we drew yesterday. So take it for what it's worth. Again, we were looking for that level, and again, it hit it again and went lower before this morning's news. Again, this is why it's so important to understand profit taking and where profit taking needs to occur. It cannot be purely based off a percentage. We use the percentage to help us determine kind of the range of where it needs to go, but eventually you have to look at the candles and figure out one, how far does it need to go, and then two, is it possible? In this case, it's why we talked about the two areas. We set up a potential bounce off this level. Again, I'll make it big so you can see it. We talked about a potential bounce here, and what did it do? It came down. It ended up going a little bit higher, but it closed and opened on that, and then came back and bounced it off again, and then based in it again. Again, shows you how powerful these levels are. And then number two, we talked about a second level, and what did it do? It literally came right down and opened and closed right on that same mark. So being able to read candles, this is what price action is really about, and a lot of people really miss that. Right now, though, I would say, if you're looking for something today in this one, again, you're kind of approaching a 50, and there could be a case made saying, hey, listen, there's something right there. Yeah, maybe, but again, with this one kind of doing what it's doing, if it does turn and roll, it may get the benefit. But right now, the yen is the driving factor in this one right now. Okay, this would be down here, and you can see this level. Look at it; it's tons of basing in there, tons of basing in that level. So yeah, if you're really looking for something, I mean, again, I would say 1030 reversal maybe at 92.98. Could be brought on by the yen, but literally this is really just a case study for understanding where to pick profit targets. And I would say that profit targets is one of the things I think people have one of the hardest things doing. And again, this is why I use supply and demand and not magical numbers, right? I don't use the force numbers. I'm more the Han Solo method than the Luke Skywalker method, right? All right, euro dollar. Same thing. Euro, look at this. It had stabilized. And again, we talked about a profit target at 101.56. Well, guess what? Ding! We hit the profit target at 101.56. Same thing. Again, we were looking for any type of pullback. And again, we got a base and a pull down, and kind of pulled back. And you can see from really like the 3 o'clock window, it kind of drove it up and then just maintained and held. We mentioned this yesterday too. I mean, this was a great level. We knew we had some basing in there. We talked about being short before the news, and it's really the same thing. I mean, this one dropped down and 93 pips. I mean, hard to do analysis when the move just happened, right? Is there a parabolic move or a parabolic retracement in this one on the way back up due? Probably a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if it comes into the same idea, right? Actually, it would probably be from here because that was from yesterday. Yeah, we're actually past it now. So, I mean, this one may even push back a little bit further. But again, the euro is traded so much, there's absolutely going to be profit taking in this one. I hope to God you caught it on the way down. Yeah. So overall, I would say that this one is probably not a buy. I mean, again, there'd be some buyers right here, but I think 101.16 is really the next area I'd be willing to buy it from. The reality is, I mean, God, if there's any headlines today, a 0.75 is an absolutely monstrous number, particularly versus what the euro is going to do. God, and it's so justified. It's so justified. Man. I hate that it's Friday. Like, if this was like Monday or Tuesday, this would be incredible. Yeah, smashed our profit target. Yeah, this is one of those Friday trades where I'm like, God, why has it got to be Friday? All I gotta say is my belief is we are definitely going to tag parity again, particularly when our next interest. I think if we haven't already hit it before, our next interest rate rise, we go ahead and tag parity again. Man, this is like, oh God, I hate when they do this. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see where this one goes to. It's just above too, just above the 23. Yeah, I would say look for this one to come down. I mean, there may be some profit taking if we can get all the way down to this 101. Maybe an opportunity. Would I want to take this short today? No. I mean, European session has like 2 hours to go. I don't think I'd take it. But again, if we open here Monday, if we open in this range, sure. If we continue to deteriorate all day, this is kind of a scenario that again, if we basically push from now till here till next week, and then we open back in this area, I would say that's a short. Right? There's a decent short here on Sunday night, something along those lines, right? And again, that's just the regular gap strategy. So, yeah, I'd watch it. But, as far as the euro goes today, technically this is a pretty bearish news for this thing. And again, we got our little retrace off the open, and we're starting to push back down again. So we may pull back up a bit, but at this point, 50s at a level 2. God. Yeah, it's very hard to say go long this one. Very, very hard to go long this one, particularly on a Friday. So, I don't know. We'll see where it goes in the next 30 minutes. Maybe if we start peaking up here, this would be an opportunity to take it short. If we get a little basing in here and then pull back, there may be another opportunity to take this one short today. Euro pound. So, euro pound. Yesterday we talked about this. It hit it. It went through. Again, hit our full profit target from an old level. Hit it again. Again, based in there. It's not, it's not in play anymore, but it's already out. Let's see. Where's our next level at? That was the break. That was the break. Man, it chopped the heck out of this. This is an old level, but it chopped the heck out of that. For me right now, again, we had this one. I'm going to say that this is for next week. Probably not get into it today. Run out of room. Yeah, I'd say this one probably due for a little bit of a reversal. How much room is this between zones? 42. 7. HP confirm short. Yeah, I mean, I would say today my call on this one is it's going to be bearish. I mean, it's already kind of come up. It looks like it's got front run. There's a one candle base. We're starting to see some, red in there. Not too many differences between euro and the pound right now, particularly because again, it is the weekend. Well, almost the weekend for them. There's going to lose a lot of momentum. So I mean, it may just tick back down again. I don't think we'll get to a full profit target today, but I think next week if we break, on Sunday night if we break the 8404, I think we look to take advantage of the racetrack caused by the news. And then again, there's another level potentially down here. It's just such a huge burst off of it. We'll see what happens when we get back down there next week. Okay. Euro, yen. Again, why is it rising? Obviously because of the yen and everything associated with the dollar news. We talked about basing, and look at this. We had 3, we hit it again, and really early morning today it started to take off in that direction. The news didn't come out until here, but it had already started to move. This was an open position. Really, where does this one stop? Probably... There's a few levels over here. I mean, there's one sitting right there. There's kind of one that could be made there. I would say look for some profit taking in this one. Again, it is quite bad news for the yen, but overall, there's probably a bit of a reversal. But understand but you're basically playing the proxy through the yen. The euro is going to run out of steam, and it is approaching a 50. So we are getting close to a range where we should expect to see some basing and turnaround. Actually, with today, as much yen destruction as we're seeing right now. It's interesting where we're at. If we start to run out of steam or we end up somewhere in this area, right, this could give us an opportunity for a Sunday night short trade. And then obviously on Sunday night, take this back. And all that would be is the reversal of the yen from today. Again, you have a big day up or down. You tend to reverse and go backwards the next day. that's kind of how this one is setting up for me right now. Like I said, not enough driving factors today to be able to kind of, be like, yep, go ahead. I mean, if you're looking for one, we're coming up to one right now. And again, we're going to want to see some basing. And again, 1030, question is, do we hit this, right? 1030 is right there, right? Are we pulling a 1030 reversal from this level? I would say there's a possibility of it, sure. I would say that if so, there's where our profit target needs to be. If we do not reverse today, and we maintain somewhere in this level near the 50% Fibonacci retracement level, I think this is a short, and we run this back down and put a profit target right there. Okay, down at 136.36. So I would say that's my downside target on this one. Look for a top, confirm it, take it short. Pound dollar. All right. Talked about this going getting spanked, and it delivered, right? And again, we talked about this, this was yesterday, right? Huge push down. We talked about, 121.78, and it got to 76, right? So I missed it by 2 pips. And this morning, again, basing, came up, basing. It pulled back in again. It's almost kind of like that same type of Harry Potter continuation trade, right? And it pulled right back up before news, and we talked about this one, and boom. It actually blew through the first one. So, again, this was the old target from yesterday. That got taken out. We talked about this level. I had to push it deep, not really interested. And then level number 2 was right there, and look what it turned on. It went just past it, and now it's kind of doing its basing. So, again, same as the Euro Aussie. Hope to God you guys got short beforehand. We had called for, dollar strength coming through. Massive move in this one. Again, just the news candle itself was 124 pips. In the first hour, 140 something pips. So monstrous movement in the pound dollar. And then again, pretty easy. And remember, this is one of those things I want to point out too. Euro pound, which one was stronger, right? This morning, which one is stronger, the euro or the pound, right? So, and this is one of those things I talk about it in the class. You guys should all know it, but it's a good kind of reinforcement point for today. We were going in today's non-farm payroll with the assumption that we wanted to go long dollar. Okay. So if you're looking to trade euro dollar, pound dollar, remember what you need to do is go across and look at euro pound. Would you rather trade the stronger of the euro pound or the weaker of the euro pound if you're looking to go strong dollar? Think about that. If you want to type it in chat, go ahead. Okay. So that's pound dollar. All right, pound yen. Why is pound yen moving? Exact same reason. The yen's getting blown out right now. It's awesome. I'm glad that this kind of rolled the other way. We talked about it coming down. It did. We talked about it grinding all the way over to pop, and that's what it did. I missed it by, 2 hours. I drew it to here. Should have drawn it to here. I just threw it on. I did. When I talked about down, we talked about where it was going. And it did. It gave us the exact same trade. This one kind of took off around 8 o'clock, 8:30. Same thing. It's the same as the euro yen. It's driving higher. Again, we're in a racetrack, so there's not really anything to slow this one down until we get all the way up. 163.65 or 163.63. Yeah, 163.63 is what we're going to use as our zone. And again, whoops, I don't want to delete that. I can delete that one. That's fine. I'll just put another one on. Still good with this Harry Potter trade. Right? And again, all this does is just reaffirm it, right? Buyers were here, pretty deep, right? Buyers were here, pretty deep. Buyers were here, broke through. Buyers broke through just again at the same level, and then buyers hit it again. This level is basically toast. The next time it comes through, it's a great reversal level, so we want to make sure that we have it marked off. It could be a real decent trade on the way down. Kind of overtake this piece here. It's 93 pips to the downside. So right now for Sunday night, again, drive. Please halt us somewhere close to this 63.63. Pound yen would be a short on Sunday night down. And again, if we can turn and roll sometime during the day, 161.19 to the downside. Dollar CAD. Look at that. Same thing. We were open for the push down, and again, I mentioned that it was probably just going to stabilize and base sideways. I wanted it to come down because it would have been great to take it down here, but it didn't. It just stabilized, and then what did it do? It exploded. And again, a 30-minute trade right here. We were talking about a big kind of buffer area. It had hit it before. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. This was technically hit number 4. We liked it, but again, is it going to hold back in news? No. It would have been our profit target, and you can see we blew through the top side of it. So we'll remove it now. We don't need it. Again, like I said, the level's been used a few times. And again, we missed the 50% retracement just here by just a little bit. Oh, I see what he grabbed. He grabbed this level. Sneaky. I'll turn it on so you guys can see it. Look at that. So there's the level that was front run. Look, the level that was formed by the bottom of the zone, the base here, the base here, the base here, right? Look at this. Ding. So yeah, that would have been more the profit target, I guess. Again, you want to be a little bit aggressive. I mean, it's, let's see. Yeah, it's like 30 pips is what your base would have had to been established off of. So even at that level, that's a 1 to 7.5, 1 to 7.66. It's huge, right? I mean, 1 to 3 was where our initial targets are for all things, and yeah, it's right there, right? And we knew that we had a little bit more room to run. It would have been at least there is kind of where our first safe profit target would have been, and that's a 1 to 3 to that's a 1 to 4. So. Nice trade. And now we're retracing back again, and some of this also has to do with crude. Crude's up 1.1%. Again, still below 90, but we're seeing some profit taking, as we should. Dollar Swiss. Okay. Talked about this one again, looking for a pullback. We knew, again, we kind of talked about kind of the same thinking. We were hoping it pulled all the way down. It didn't. It kind of ran out of steam. It went to here and then just stopped and based sideways. You can see it drove it down, right? The Europeans drove it down to get a buy on it and kind of started to retrace back up again. Same thing, nice move, right? Again, we talked about this would be a nice little setup. And again, we talked about this level and look where it's hitting. This was that Harry Potter. We never got a pullback. Take this out, take this out. This is still live. Pull this across. Yeah, I mean, probably the same thing. This is going to be a big move for the U.S., but again, the trade's done. I mean, we're already up 0.75, so maybe pulls back a little bit as people kind of capture their profit for it. But again, I hope that you were able to get this one long beforehand. So not much to do now. If anything, probably rolls back down a little bit. Probably stabilize a little bit. Like I said, the Swiss will get a little bit of strength today just because of all this Chinese stuff. Just because of this. All right. Yeah. I love this. We condone missile tests as escalation. No. Sending Nancy Pelosi to an unrecognized nation, that is escalation. I love when we do this. We point the fingers just like, you're a dirtbag. It's like, well, you sent Nancy to somewhere which you, like, here's the thing. You knew exactly what was going to happen, but yet it's their fault. Right? Yeah. It's like, hey, if you send Nancy, we're going to do some missile testing. You sent Nancy, and then they're like, hey, you're escalating this. It's like, we told you what we're going to do. Like, hello? Yeah. Yeah, I just don't get it. What is this? German power climbs? Oh. Power as plants start to buckle in the heat. Yeah. That's going to be brownouts. Brownouts for everybody. And then dollar yen. Okay. Dollar yen, not surprised. We talked about a level. Again, we were looking for a breakthrough, but obviously we wanted to go long with this one. Talked about 135 as being the target. Again, it sliced through. This thing has been hit 1, 2, 3. Actually, from the original level, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is number 5. So we talked about 135 as being the target today. Obviously, we got up there. Big monstrous move. I mean, this is 208 pips since the news came out. So, yeah, I mean, we talked about it yesterday. Again, that 250 number. That 250 number is it was just ridiculous. Again, even just the 512 would have sent this thing flying. Tack that onto the 3.5. I mean, that's just a monstrous move. Yeah. So again, great trade. Still like this level though. We could actually refine it just a little bit. Actually, I'd probably leave that there because again, there's basing touched into it and kind of formed a new base. So yeah, I think when we do come back down, I think 132.50 would be an area where we turn and roll. I would actually expect this to kind of pull back on Sunday night. As I said, this is kind of massive movement in one direction in one day, 200 something pips in an hour. In the yen, we will see a bit of a reversal because, like I said, the yen likes to keep things. They don't care about weakness, but they do want to keep the price a little bit more stable because it gets a little bit weird when you're an export nation and it's like, well, wait a second, why am I going to buy it today when next week it's going to be cheaper, right? They do kind of have to stabilize it just a little bit more. So again, I would be looking. My take on this one, like I said, take my opinions for what they're worth. I do think that this one rolls back down again, and not that there's, not that the dollar is getting weak, but again, it would be the yen kind of strengthening to kind of control this control this a little bit more. And this would be probably a next week thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if we touch back down to this 133 level next week. Okay, Bitcoin, obviously a little bit choppy back and forth. Big drop down again because, again, the dollar is an asset that will pay you. Again, they're up 3% from yesterday, but just because that was kind of the bottom. Talked about it going lower if we're going to break, and we haven't broken it yet. Like, we've chopped it, but we haven't Harry Pottered it yet, so it's not there yet. Ethereum, same thing, although this one did rally back a little bit more. Again, it's just one of those things. Doji looks exactly the same. Again, we're waiting for Doji to kind of come through and collapse at the lower level, so got some more room to run there. Commodities. Nice little pop in oil, right? Nice little pop, and it's a zone that we talked about. We talked about 87.50 yesterday as being an area where we're looking to try to get, some buying in. It counted down 87.10, so a little bit past. We had the level drawn. Why am I getting pop-ups? Who's sending me pop-ups? Get all kinds of pop-ups. Anyway, not necessarily surprised by this one. Again, this is dollar strength. And again, some drama over here between, China and everything. Again, that will also, I think, increase this as well. I think 91 is kind of where we look. I think 91 is an area that we look at. We can obviously pull this down just a little bit. The 23.6 is coming in somewhere around that level. So I think it's in the range where you need to kind of respect it. Obviously, this pushes one thing. Obviously, hearing about brownouts, we're pushing things to the maximum limit. Any type of news that is considered inflammatory or in bad sense, again, should make these things go higher. So I think 91 is a great target for today. If we start the week off at 91, I think 91 could be an area to short from Sunday night, but not necessarily as surprised with this one that, hey, listen, a lot more people are driving, right? Unemployment's down. Look at this. Over 2 times as many people that they thought were going to be driving now are driving. And again, obviously, they're not all driving, but that's the way that, a futures trader looks at this is like, wait a second. It used to be, wow, 250 people, 250,000 people are driving now that weren't driving last week, right? Again, that should increase demand, which again, higher demand means higher prices. So again, the recession that is driving this down is not here yet. So I think 91 is kind of where we're looking. Natural gas. So again, horrible inventories yesterday drove this thing down and helped it drive down, and now it's kind of stabilizing itself. I'd like to see where this one unfolds. News that Germany is like, we're having problems, or like, we're reducing our electricity. Why? Because we don't want to buy stuff from Russia, but it's climbing, right? Having problems, look, cooling restrictions, like struggling to get enough coal from the river. What's not struggling is the amount of natural gas that Russia has, right? Europe is suffering in its worst energy crisis in decades because of Russia in retaliation for sanctions. What did you think was going to happen, right? Everything is cause and effect, right? Here are billions of dollars to fight Russia. Okay. And Russia's going to be like, okay, we'll just be nice. We'll just have it. It's okay. Come on. It's all cause and effect. So, yeah, that's why this one is obviously going to bounce around a little bit. And again, all they got to do is start mentioning that they're going to take some more Russian stuff, and then showing you that there's going to be more of a run on the current supply. We should have this thing pop up again. So, should be there. Gold. Again, mentioned it yesterday. Get short beforehand that for gold was going to get crushed. It did. Again, look at this too. Simple push, right? Looking at 7 o'clock this morning, futures traders are getting online. What do they do? If you want to short something, you make the price more expensive. It drove it up, and in this case, whoop, right back down. Now, still mad we didn't hit this. I was looking for this, so we were so close. We made it within $2. But again, easy short. Again, strong dollar stuff is bad for inflation. So again, now, I would say, compared to some of the other dollar plays out there, they haven't done it yet. It's coming. I wouldn't be surprised if this one pops up because now they're going to prepare for the CPI number. So I think of all the big moves, this one has the greatest potential for a parabolic, kind of retracement on there. Because again, more people are working. Wait a second, that's more inflation, right? People are getting paid more, right? Right? People are getting paid. Look at this. They're getting paid more. You get paid more. You don't care about spending more. Again, that's an inflationary tool. So, yes, they are going to raise interest rates, and that's why it's more of a short. But right now, people are going to like, well, wait a second. We're getting paid more. And that will lead this to kind of come back up again. So, would not be surprised whatsoever if, we're seeing gold. And gold comes back into this level here at 1783. Remember, the gold market does close a little bit earlier, so that's not something you want to kind of mess with and hang through the day. 4 hours to go? 3 hours? Let's see. 3 hours to go? So, Less chance in that one, but would not be surprised if we come back up and touch it. Silver doing exactly as well. Again, telltale sound. Look at that. It used the 20. It came right back up to that 21.15 level. Again, drove it right up before news, and then boom, hammered all the way down again. And this is profit taking too. This is a bigger one. Why? Well, there's more retail traders trading silver than there's retail traders trading gold. Right? Remember when all the meme stocks and all that stuff kind of came out and Bitcoin was going to take over the world, go to 100,000, silver was going to 60. Everybody jumps into the cheaper of the two assets. It's like, was it Litecoin or Litecoin or whatever it is? It was kind of the cheap version of Bitcoin, right? It was the cheaper man's way of getting in. Silver is the same way. There's more, if there's more retail traders there, or it has a higher concentration percentage-wise of retail traders that are doing silver versus gold. Again, supposed to move twice, it's just under 2 times. Okay, but again, easy short on this one. Should have been something everybody grabbed. Obviously, the VIX is going to be nuts, right? What's non-farm? What's non-farm? What's non-farm? Non-farm is out, boom, right back down again. So, not surprising whatsoever. ES, not surprised whatsoever. And at the same time, you say, well, wait a second, why did this retrace all the way back up again? Now, actually, today, obviously, we're not talking about a pre-market move because it's all in reaction, but I'm just going to move this across. This was a level we had before. We had an opening print yesterday, and if you did this one, there's your opening print right there in the same zone that we used yesterday, and boom, monstrous move. So could you have traded this long at the open? The answer is yes. Why? Why, you say, Brian, why would you have done that? Well, one, news-wise, here's the 7 o'clock candle. They rose price up, rose price up, rose price up. There was a level of basing for news, and that's where the news came out. The news absolutely 100% was not good for the market, right? Holy crap, they're going to raise interest rates more. Boom. This is where the retail trader gets in. What does the retail trader see? Holy crap, they're going to raise interest rates, not realizing that prices already shot down again. So all the retail traders in the world that were hitting the short button, guess what? They just all got stopped out. Okay? So again, push down into a zone. I mean, this is probably one of the fastest parabolic retracements you're going to see, but absolutely makes complete sense why it happened. Okay? And it's things like this. This is why retail traders lose so much money in the market so quickly. Because they're like, holy crap, this was hard. Look at this. Oh my God, they're raising interest rates, right? But at the same time, I mean, yeah, there's some positive data here. I mean, the unemployment rate is down. People are getting paid a lot more money. They're going to spend a lot more, and more people are working. So they're getting more paychecks. Oh, that's good for earnings, right? And it's a retail trader trap. So every reason in the world for this thing to go long. So, I can't really talk about the opening print ahead of non-farm payroll. It was just too easy. Again, it was absolutely a news trade short. Here's your target. And again, a 1 candle base bottom in a 30-minute window after a news burst. Yes, it was a retail trader trap that you could have seen from a million miles away to go long. There you go. Okay. So a lot of fun on that one. NQ, basically the same thing. Now, NQ, again, it drove up 30 minutes, an hour and a half before news, it went higher. Yes, it drove into a level, and if you really wanted to use it, you could have said, okay, I'm going to get short. That's where we're at right now. There's my 1 to 3. That's what I'm looking to target. I'm actually, and I said, what did I say? 1385. It made it to, missed it by about 20 points, right? 25, yeah, about 20 points, right? I'm shocked that it didn't go lower. Not surprised that it turned. So, again, would you have traded this one at the open? No, ES was a better opening print setup, but would you have gotten short this one before the news? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it did the same thing. It broke through every retail trader in the world, said, oh my God, it's going to be a horrible day, slaughter, boom, straight back up again. Now, does that mean it's going to end in the green today? Overall, I would say probably not. Again, this is a very kind of, not scripted, but very, very easy to see. But overall, yes, more people are working. This is higher. This is higher. It also means that they are going to not put the brakes on, in my eyes, with raising interest rates. I think unless CPI comes in and it's absolutely like insanely off, this is such a huge number showing you that what they've done has not started to crush labor demand yet, right? Not crushing labor demand yet. There's no reason why they don't do 0.75 because everybody's still in agreement that inflation is way too high right now. We're up in the 8.6 range or whatever. It's way too high, right? So they can absolutely justify, that 0.75 to get it back down to its target, the 2%. So a lot of room to run. I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we do something like this for the rest of the day. All right, we're at 10:30 right now. This is where we find a top, and then we kind of come back down, and anything over in here, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, YM looks just the same, and look at that, magically, basing level right there. And what did it do? Hour and a half beforehand, drove us right back up into that level, gave us a predefined risk. And we talked about coming all the way down as like a target. We weren't talking about this one really as a long because we'd already chopped through it a few times. But look at that. Went just past, based right below it, ended up grabbing these buyers, and also did a reversal. And it's already starting to pull back now. I mean, this one's going a little bit early. But again, not necessarily surprised. Fib-wise, let's see. Yeah, it kind of came up to 78. I don't like the 78, but people will like it. So kind of the same thinking, but it's the same story. ESNQYM. Opening print-wise, again, it was more in long territory than anything else. Now, the Russell is the one in the green. Now, the Russell's the small guy. And again, you may say, holy crap, look at this. Again, short is that. Yeah, give him to me. Why is she screaming? Oh, she's kicking the door. Whew, my daughter has a temper, guys. Kind of the same thing. Again, huge push down very, very fast. We talked about profit targets down here. It did go lower, and there was a bunch of chop down here. Not really surprised at this. Look, because if this is where the last test was here, there's your basing. Whoops, there's your basing level, right? There's your test. Look at that right there. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. He's like, who are you talking to? Why are you talking so much? So yeah, this is the little guys. Not surprised. I mean, this is great. I mean, 250,000. This is typically driven by small business. So on a fundamental basis, it does make sense. It is the strongest. So of all the shorts, this would be the one that I probably wouldn't want to short. But I will say next week, I think there will be some shorting opportunity in the Russell as comments start coming out about what could potentially happen in the 0.75. Here, buddy, take this one. Here, Kip. I got to stop calling him Buddy. He thinks his name is Buddy now. And just so you guys know, I'm not crazy. Like, I don't have I don't stutter. Jin, like in Melissa's family, like they have nicknames. So Jin just turned into Jin. And then because we have Jin, it came out that Kip sounds weird. And I don't like, I think Kip it's harder to say. So we just turned into Buddy. So if you hear me call Kip Buddy, that would be why. Here, take this. What's this? So anyway, again, Russell will be the one that, again, I think there'll be a pullback. But if anything, I think this has the best chance of staying green today. Again, more small business, more jobs. Typically, it tends to be swayed that direction. So yeah, again, always hard to do the analysis on these with something like a non-farm payroll, particularly when it comes in as crazy as it did. So here, you want to get down? Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. Sorry. So that's it for today. Let's see what's Twitter got going on. Twitter doing a little spiky. Apple is kind of like, oh, look at that. It was a perfectly great Harry Potter, and it got ruined. Wah. And this one yesterday, we talked about Tesla coming down to the 882. So, got down to 889. We missed it by a little bit, but I don't think it's done. I think if everything does start to turn and roll more negative today, I think Tesla gets down and starts testing these levels down to that 890, 888 area. So. All right, that's it. There's obviously nothing tomorrow, right? Sunday, we have inflation expectations for New Zealand late at night. So if you guys are trading, again, don't forget that New Zealand dollar, New Zealand yen trade. Again, 3.29 on a quarterly basis. There could be some play in that one. And then again, Monday morning, August 8th, not too much there. Let's see, is there anything really, really small? Swiss unemployment rate. Maybe there can be something there. And again, we see a dollar Swiss reversal in that one. And then, nothing really else in there. Anything the night before? Nah, just lending a current account. And maybe some yen play on could be some yen movement. It's yellow, but again, this is based off US sentiment, not overnight stuff. So yeah. So again, I would say going into Sunday night, watch the yen. I think the yen will have some reversal opportunity. Again, we'll see what the dollar, how it maintains today. Would not be surprised with some 10-30 reversals. You got a lot of people scratching their heads like, wait a second, it was so bad. And then I went short and now it's rallying. I'm going to go long and then it's going to turn around and take even more of their money for the day. So crazy. All right. So that's it for today. So like I said, I got Kip coming around the floor. He's playing with power cords. Right, buddy? Melissa has a call at 10:30, so that's why I ended up grabbing him. So, all right. So yesterday it was Ernest. Ernest is in for 2. Acme Marina. Was Sean here today? I don't know if Sean's here today. I didn't see him type. And Neuro's back in the hunt, guys. Neuro took one day off. He let everybody win, is what he told me. He said he felt like he was winning too much, and if he took one day off, that that way you guys would feel that it is still an even playing field, is what he told me. So, just saying. He told me not to tell anybody, but I can't keep secrets from you guys. So, anyway, here we go. Winner of today's drawing is Debbie. And look at that. I did not even say her name today. Wow. So we've had Will win this week. We have Marina win this week. We've had Debbie win this week. We've had Ernest win this week. This is like, man, pass it around. Everybody winning this week, right? Eki didn't win this week, but Eki goes on tear sometimes. So yeah, I think Eki and Nuro are the only two that didn't win this week. So all right, let's go to the leaderboard. Where are we at? For Debbie, let's give Debbie her 50. There we go. All right. Sounds good. All right, with that said, I'm out of here. You guys have an amazing weekend. Hopefully you guys have good weather. I know last night we had it dawned on me that we are now in hurricane season. I think there's 4 people in DC or in critical care that got struck by lightning in DC. People in Annapolis, there was another one too. So yeah, the crazy summer storms are here. So everybody stay safe, please. And I'll catch you guys back on Monday. Have a good one. Thanks for joining today, and I'll see you then.